Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends, and welcome into the Eric St. Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports Studio. Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Go see them. I'll be there tomorrow, actually, to go say hello. We got new owners there, setting up shop. And they're awesome. I'm excited. To meet them. Longtime sponsor of the show, sponsoring the studio. And they are great. Pick up something fun with an engine there. ATV, UTV, motorcycle, e-bikes. Some call them B-bikes. Go-karts, scooters, on and on and on. Thank you to David in Hudsonville, Michigan. He subscribed today with his Prime account, and he's done that now for 38 months in a row. I appreciate you. Just a little bit of background. If you're watching the show on Twitch, which of course is free. First of all, let me back up. If you're watching it on Facebook, you're not going to get the whole show on Facebook. I'm going to go for a bit, and then I'm going to direct you to Twitch. And then you go to Twitch and you watch it there. You're like, why do you do that, Easy? Well, I do that because the more people that I have watching me on Twitch, the greater my relationship with Twitch is, and they reward me for that endeavor. Now, it's real simple. You just watch it. If you want, just watch it all the time on Twitch. Just skip the whole Facebook thing. That's what I would do. The thing is, though, if you're on Twitch, you don't have to pay anything or anything like that. Just hit follow so you know when I go live. And, actually, it hasn't been that great at notifying people that I am live. So I've now 2 days in a row that I've started right at 10 a.m. That needs to be a habit forever and ever and ever so that I don't miss out on anybody if they don't get the notification. But regardless, when you're watching on Twitch, you may see a rando commercial or two pop in. Amazon sends those along, and that's how this transaction works. You are the audience for the content and the Twitch ads. That allows me to use their platform. I get paid for that. You see that ad? I'm getting paid for it. They get money. I get money. But if you want to skip all of the commercials, subscribe. And you can do it for free. You have to link up your Amazon Prime account. How do you do that? I have no idea. But through your Twitch homepage where your name is, you can hit link up Amazon Prime or some shit. There is a way to do it. If you don't know, use your noodle there and search it out. It'll tell you how to do it. And then you have to do that manually each month to the day. It does not do that automatically. But it's free if you have Amazon Prime. And I get paid with that, too. David says, super easy to link. Can you write a synopsis for me as how to link? Either in the chat or send it to me in an email so I can know this protocol, because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Or don't. Doesn't matter. Either way, if you subscribe, that's awesome. If you do not subscribe and just follow, that's awesome, too. Rebecca says, Twitch updated their app, and it's so much easier to link your Prime account now. Thank you. Can you do it on the app and not the desktop? Because before you had to do it on the desktop. Maureen, who is one of our more geriatric audience members, says, if I can do it, anyone can. Thank you, Maureen. Nick in Houston says, holy shit, the Kouri Richins sentencing was so satisfying. Now, I am going to talk about that today. And, it's super important to keep in mind, just as a reminder, that chatters, your goal is to insult me, make fun of me, talk about what I'm talking about, but Yeah, I don't know if it's in your best interest to jump all over a story like it's the Nick in Houston podcast. You know, I get you're excited. You want to talk about it. I do too. I will. Now, if you ever are like, geez, I sure hope EZ talks about this, you can very easily reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, with the info. And then on here, write EZ. Check your email. It's a great story that I think you should talk about. And I might get to it on this show, or I might wait to the Patreon, or wait another day. You got to quell your excitement, you know? Because, so what that also does when you do that, then all of a sudden the chat starts bugging and talking about what, and then basically you're holding a podcast within the podcast. That's what's happening there. Now, the old Eric would have gotten angry at you and yelled at you and called you bad names. But my audience, I'm trying not to actually lash out at people. Linda says, note that murder lover Linda did not bring it up. I know you want to. I mean, I haven't even been following this that much. I know a lot about the story, and I'll get to what I know and talk about it the way I would talk about it. But just know that before Nick wrote, oh, hey, guess what? I was going in a different direction. I was planning on doing something else. You know? So I don't know, maybe. And Nick's a radio guy, too. He knows these things. And he's a veteran of the chat. I have said here on here many times, this is not the Wild West where you just bark out what you want to talk about. That is not how this works. The protocol is very simple. Sit back, enjoy the show, discuss what we're discussing, and make fun of me, make fun of whoever else I'm talking about, make fun of my neck, camel toe, whatnot. It's that simple. I know you can do this. I know you can. I have faith in you. Linda says, you can call me if you need a Kouri Richins correspondent. Thank you. I appreciate that. Regarding linking up your Amazon Prime with Twitch so that you can get it for free every month. Rebecca says to Chris K. Actually, I don't want to read that. Looks to be let's see. Rebecca says, do you have an iPhone or an Android? The iPhone app never let me link within the app until recently. Chris says, I've been able to do it on the Android. So there you go. That's how he's been doing it. So whatever. Thank you to David in Hudsonville. He's going to send me an email, which I'll get into later on, how you do that. But I've got a lot to get into today. And last night was my first night as the public address announcer for the Midwest United, for Midwest United Soccer. Midwest United Soccer, there's ladies and men's. The ladies team is called the USLW League. USL Soccer is one of these stepping stone leagues where you've got people who are playing at a level where maybe working on their game to get to the next level. So you kind of have a mixed bag of personnel on the field. Some are just wrapping up a successful high school career. Some are heading over to college to play at the college level. Some have finished the college game or are just working on their game to get all in an effort to improve and move to the next level. These women. And so I was tipped off before the game started. Colton told me about a couple of people to keep my eye on who are exceptional players for Midwest United. And I was kind of half paying attention, but so I didn't really take note to too much of what he said. And then I kind of heard rumblings during the game while other fans were talking about particular players. And I heard something that kind of caught my ear, and I'm not going to say what that is yet. But one of the players for the other team, Union FC, was struggling with our number 25, whose name is London. Okay, sorry. London Spencer. And so this player for their team, she looked to be like a tall drink of water. I'm guessing she was about a 5'11", long, strong legs and running fast and very good with the ball. But every time she would encounter London Spencer, she'd lose the ball. She'd get frustrated, and London Spencer would steal the ball, run up the field. And then I noticed that the coach for Midwest United was coaching her, because I'm right next to the coach's box, about what to do with the ball. Like a lot of the times she would get the ball outside of the box in the while the team is attacking, and she would launch a ball outside of the box. And he's like, and he's British, and he's yelling, London, no, dribble it in and then make your decision. And then I kept my eye on her because every time she was out of the box, she would then, in fact, dribble it in and then make a play. I think she got an assist in the game. And I think one of the things that stood out was she seemed faster than everybody on the field. Unbelievably powerful, quick, and covers a lot of ground quickly. And last year was her first year with the team, and she joined the team at age 12. Yes, that's right. Now, right now, today, my grandson turns 13. And he's a peanut. He's a little buddy. I cannot imagine how my 13-year-old grandson would do playing against college kids. London Spencer is now 13, and they can't stop her. The other team, she was giving them freaking fits with what she's doing on the field. All right? That's like the type of skill level that if you're playing pro women's soccer, I guess technically it's semi-pro, but like she's so good. She doesn't play for like the local school that she goes to. She's fucking middle school. It would be like 100-0. And all the parents would be mad. All the other kids would be crying. You've got this woman rampaging down the field, kicking so much ass, they'd be so frustrated. So I don't think I've ever heard of such dominance. You know, you hear about stories about like when Wayne Gretzky was really young, he was playing with 17 and 18-year-olds and kicking their ass. And he was, probably in his early teens then. That's the level of phenom, I think that, now I don't know shit about soccer, but I can't imagine that there are a lot of young people that are 12 and 13 years old playing with college kids and smoking them. What the hell? So I witnessed this for the first time yesterday, and I go, well, this is a fantastic storyline. This needs to be talked about often. This name needs to be known as best as I can make it known. The rest of the team was also exceptional, and I know that you might be like, well, what about the rest of the team? Yeah, they're great, and they won the game 2-1. In fact, they scored 2 goals in about a minute and 30 seconds after being down 1-0. They scored in the 61st and the 62nd minute of the game and ended up winning the game 2-1. But this was quite a story, and it dawned on me that what I was hearing, the rumblings earlier, was someone saying, yeah, the chick for the other team who's really good, she doesn't even know she's playing against a 13-year-old. And I had heard that, and it didn't really connect that this was one of the young people that Colton said was really, really great for Michigan United. Damn it, Midwest United. So that was unbelievable. So honestly, These games are free. So you need to come to you need to come to all the games. The men play on Saturday at 6 p.m. at the Midwest United Soccer Complex. I cannot be there for that game. I've got a Griffins playoff game. But, Chris, of course, Man Bun Chris, he's the one who introduced me to Lewis over at Midwest United and helped me get this gig. He knows of London Spencer very, very well. And he says she played last year, too, for the youth games. And for the youth games, she plays with the boys' teams. She's very good. So I just wanted to start with that because I've got the feeling I was just seeing something fantastic. My God. Stevie is here commenting on my oldest grandson, Grayson, being 13 years old. She says he's a teenager already. Yeah, today. Today is the day that he was born, 13 years ago. Man Bun Chris says, in true Eric Zane fashion, I like the ads back to back to back before player intros. LOL. Okay, a little bit about that. Because I'm not one to tell anybody what to do. I'm an order taker, except for when it comes to this show. As we were getting started, and this is our first game together, and Alexis runs the show. And she says, easy, okay, I want you to read this on the walkout. The walkout is when the teams walk to center field, and usually with some youth players, and we introduce them, and then we do the anthem, and then we play soccer. She goes, okay, I want you to read this as they're walking out. I go, you got it. Now, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be awkward because I have a lot to read. I have to hello and welcome. I have to introduce the sponsor who sponsors the team, and there's a read that goes along with it. There's also fans, make sure you behave message. All told, I took one look at it, and I go, that's 2.5 to 3 minutes of reading prior to intros. Team walks out, got the walkout music, and I do what I'm told. And all the ladies are kind of standing there for way too long, getting cold, because it was like 43 degrees. That finished. Introduce the teams. Get started playing. Alexis comes up. She goes, hey, I think we're going to do that different next time. I go, yeah? She says, I'm going to have you start reading all of that preamble before the teams walk out. And then when they get out there, we're just going to introduce the teams and do the anthem. I go, that's a great idea. I like it. So that is not the way I would have done it. But again, I'm not, hey, no, do it this way and like mansplain like an asshole. People got to figure these things out. And I'm low man on the totem pole there. So why don't you just back off, Man Bun Chris, with that indictment? Badger says, who wants to watch soccer? And then he writes, ZZZZ, LOL. Cock. Nick says, I think he means teased. I remember when you teased that announcement for a week on Free Beer and Hot Wings. Someone on the show has had a major life change. Yeah, I remember that too. Man Bun Chris adds, easy would have made us link Amazon. I don't know what you mean. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. But it's remarkable to me that my grandson is the same age as London there. Because she's like a 25-year-old woman. It's unbelievable. Anyway, you missed out if you weren't there. However, it was cold as fuck. And, of course, I didn't bring a hat. And I will say this. Where I'm at on the side of the field is the same side as the coaches, which is I haven't done that before. Usually, well, no, I take that back. I was about as far away. I'm standing right next to them, so I can hear, like, the coach yelling at the ref. And also, I have to announce, like, corner kicks, free kicks. And occasionally I'd make a mistake. Free kick, Midwest United. Correction, free kick, Union FC. And I started to get, like, afraid that I was doing it wrong too much, and that in my brain, I tricked myself into thinking that a scenario was going to come up, and the coach was going to say, all right, give me the microphone, get the fuck out of here. You don't know what you're doing. I was concerned about that because I kept fucking it up. There was a horrific call that took place in the game where our coach, there was a ridiculous deal where our team had the ball and we were near the end line, near where, like, the goal is, and our lady was dragged down. Should have been a PK, penalty kick right there, but they blew the whistle, and I guess the person who calls offsides had the flag up. The ref goes over to the flagger and says, hey, so what's up? And is convinced then that there was offsides, but they're like, wasn't. It really wasn't. In fact, the team went right online and looked at the replay. And it was, like, impossible. There was no way it was offsides. Like 20 yards was the distance that was described. And he was just letting her have it, the ref, the coach. I forget his name. I'm sorry. It's Coach White. Isn't that it? Last name White. What's his first name? Begins with a J. Joe White. And he's got a great British accent. And he's giving the ref the business. And finally the ref, she's a redhead. So I was like, oh, Coach, what are you doing? She goes, that's enough. I'm done with this. Now, what she should have said was, I totally fucked that up. It was a disaster. It's my fault. But that didn't happen. And then finally, Coach Whitey, gave up on that deal. And then the game is now, we've reached the 90-minute mark. So now we're into extra time. And typically, the ref will add extra time based on stoppages and whatnot. So the word gets to me, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And there's a timing official and a timing/substitution official standing right in front of me. It's this chick. She looks at me and she goes, 2 minutes. That's what she says. And I announce it. 2 minutes extra time. All right. So then it's on the 94th minute. And the team's like, what the fuck? You said 2 minutes extra time. And the coaches are going tick, 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 tick. And they're like hitting their, acting like they have a watch, and they're tapping the watch. And this chick's getting pissed. And Coach White goes in his best, I can't do the British accent, but he's saying, how much extra time? It should be over. It should be over. And chick, blondie in front of me, she goes, it's minimum 2 minutes. Now, if she had said to me, minimum 2 minutes, I would have made the announcement. But she did not. She said 2 minutes. So that I was afraid they were going to yell at me again. I was very concerned about that during the game. All I wanted to do was do a good job and get the fuck out of there. Birch says, it should be over. I need to get more fish and chips. I love the Brits. To me, it adds authenticity if you've got a Brit who's leading the team in battle. All right. There was a player on the other team whose last name was, it was spelled a certain way, and I was like, I wanted to get the correct pronunciation. So, in fact, it was the tall chick who plays at Notre Dame I was telling you about. So I go up to their coach. Hey, coach, how you doing? PA announcer, just getting a couple pronunciations. And I go, how do you pronounce this one? Now, I had an idea how to pronounce it, but I didn't want to actually say it because it kind of sounds like a PA Prank's name. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's, I don't know the first name. Let's just say Heather. Oh, yeah, that's Heather Titmus. I go, okay, that's it. That's how you say it. What is it again? Titmus. Fuck. That's a name that, if your name's Titmus, you're getting some shit as you're growing up, There's a pretty good chance you're going to be heckled at some point if you're going to school and your last name is Titmus. Black Belt Nick says, was she flat-chested? I don't know. I didn't really look. So, I was hoping that she wouldn't score, but she was one of the starters, so I had to announce her name. It was Jesus. Yeah, that's the type of name where you especially young people now, you make fun of somebody, and then after about the second time that it's been said, you go home and you complain to your millennial mom and dad, and then they go ahead and petition the school to ban the student. They sue. They huddle in the corner of the house or the safe room and talk about their feelings because they got made fun of. And then the child ends up veering off the path. Next thing you know, she's like a goth chick who, looks like shit. She's addicted to heroin by age 7. And that's it. It's awful. All right. So game 1 is in the books. Thank you to Black Belt Nick for subscribing on Twitch. That is now 11 months. Thank you for that, Black Belt Nick. We are 2 days away from Nick's big, what do we call it? Test? Black Belt test? It seems like it should have a more show-busy name. But yeah, he's been working to get the next level of black belt in kickboxing. And coming up on Saturday morning, I will be watching him actually get this test. And this is like 2 or 3 hours where he's like fighting people. Is it like exhausting for your black belt testing extravaganza? I mean, are you like wore out? Because in my mind, it's like you're surrounded by like, 10th degree black belt kickboxers, and you have to fight them off one at a time. And then maybe 2 at a time. And then it culminates with you fighting all 10 at once. Is there any 2-on-1 gangbang style testing that goes on? Because, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to this, but I better not be bored. I mean, I don't want you just like chopping balsa wood or some shit and me being like, oh, fuck, snooze. And I'm watching TikToks of the Shuffle Mamas dancing. Have you watched the Shuffle Mamas yet? Oh, my God, I love the Shuffle Mamas. Fuck, what the hell was that? I encountered the Shuffle Mamas, and now I subscribe to their page. Okay, here you go. These 2 chicks met in the neighborhood. And then they said, hey, we're going to be best friends forever. Let's start dancing. So then these 2 moms in their garage, They just learned how to shuffle dance, which I don't know how, but it's that type of dancing you do when you look like you're walking on air. Picture like the Charleston. I think the Charleston is a type of shuffle dance.
Let's kick it.
There they are, the Shuffle Mamas.
Ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of
I could watch anybody shuffle dance.
Will it ever stop?
It doesn't have to be hot moms.
How are you?
It could be anybody. They look like they're walking on air. Anyway, if the black belt testing extravaganza gets shitty, you're going to start to hear Ice Ice Baby because I'm watching the Shuffle Mamas. All right? You better do something. And when you're slugging the guy, can you please throw in a hi-ya during any of that? Tophus is here. Thank you. He says, I'm missing context. Rebecca explained him. Female soccer player's last name from EZ's announcing last night was Titmus. Nick says 2-on-1 happens in sparring. It will not be boring. Good. Nick in Houston says, I picture like Kramer in Seinfeld where it's a grown man fighting a bunch of little kids. There was something I saw online that I should go back and find. I don't want to do it now because I'm not exactly sure how to search for it. But it was a guy who's like a black belt or a former champion boxer and taking on 3 or 4 influencers, people who have no experience, all at the same time. And they just like start windmilling the guy. And the guy is like, he's fighting him off. And then he lands one stiff jab. Some guy eats a jab and he goes down in a heap. And then he slowly but surely starts cleaning house against these fuckers. That was great. I could watch that all day. All right. So, Nick, I'm excited for you. I'll be there with bells on. And, yeah, I have blocked off the time, and I can't wait. I had a crazy-ass dream last night, and I'll just cut to the chase. It was a crazy dream. I think at some point in the dream there was some sex. Not going to lie. And I couldn't tell you specifically what was going on, but that moment ends, and I don't have any other real memory of it. But there was also a mafia storyline in the dream. And this part I do remember because I woke up very concerned. I'm not kidding. In the dream, I was at Bob Seger's house, who had just launched Bob Seger beer. And everybody's drinking Bob Seger beer, except me. And the head of my penis fell off. And so in the dream, I'm holding my penis tip, and I put it back in my underwear, and it didn't hurt or anything, but it was very, very bizarre. And then a short time later, I wake up, and Pooh Bear goes, oh no, the dog peed in the bed. And she did. The dream is now gone, and I wake up, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was just hanging out at fucking Bob Seger's house. The tip of my penis fell off. Pooh Bear is frustrated because the dog peed on the bed. She strips the bed, gets the dogs off the bed. At this point, I haven't told her about my dream, but I smell something. In addition to the incident on the bed, O'Neill has wandered into this studio, second night in a row, and taken a dump. Now, I will say that when I am here, I let the dogs out very, very late, and they take care of their business then, and there's usually not an incident. Sometimes there is, but not as much as when this scenario happens. If I'm gone, like I was last night, Pooh Bear sometimes does not let the dog out late enough. So O'Neill is now taking a dump in here. So now I'm missing my penis at Bob Seger's house. Pooh Bear's stripping the bed. I'm in here cleaning up the shit. I throw the shit out. Bed's now made. I get back in bed, and I say to Pooh Bear, I had a dream that I was at Bob Seger's house, and the tip of my penis fell off. And my God, she couldn't stop laughing, despite being really annoyed that Darla did that. You know how you can look up, what does it mean when I dream about so-and-so? Like if you looked up, what does it mean? Because a lot of people dream that their teeth are falling out, and I've been having that dream for years. What do teeth falling out dreams mean? High stress, anxiety, or loss of control in your waking life. All of that is normal. High stress, anxiety, or loss of control. That is all accurate. What does my penis falling off dream mean? The AI overlords say a dream about your penis falling off is a powerful symbolic image that typically represents deep-seated anxieties surrounding personal power, identity, and vulnerability, rather than a literal health concern. Well, I knew that it wasn't a literal health concern. Such dreams often signify a feeling of losing control over a situation or a significant loss of confidence in your waking life. Here is a breakdown of potential meanings based on common dream interpretations. Reduced assertiveness. This dream may reflect your feelings of inadequacy or inability to maintain an authoritative role in your work or personal life. Weakness. It can symbolize a fear of being seen as weak or having your personal strength stripped away. Yeah, kind of like when a judge says $500. Impotence. Such a dream may reflect anxieties about sexual performance or feelings of sexual inadequacy. Well, that is actually true. I'm not struggling with impotence. Well, I guess I kind of am. You know, we've talked about the very powerful medicines that I have to take to keep my prostate at least somewhat in check because it's enlarged with a benign prostate hyperplasia. Those powerful drugs do affect things. So that might have something to do with it. You know, like I'm a eunuch, essentially. It's like when you, Game of Thrones, the Unsullied. Is that what they're called? The Unsullied? The ones who got their dongs cut off? That's kind of like what I am now. Is that what they were known as? The Unsullied? Murder Lover Linda says you've lost confidence in your crank. Man Bun Chris says, do you have any stressful events that have happened lately? Man Bun Chris says Zane acting like he didn't already Quora this. I still don't know how to say it. Quora or Cora. Badger says you were talking about Bob Seger singing a pedal song the other day. Yeah, you're right. I was. Murder Lover Linda says money worries, sorry. Rebecca says, I do not understand the bathroom habits of your animals. Yeah, me neither. All right. Varys the spider was a eunuch. Megan says, how would they pee if they didn't have a penis? It would just fall out. It'd roll. Well, there's still a tube there. It's just not as long. You know? It would just kind of like dribble down the front. Anyway, it's been an eventful 24 hours since we last did the show. But here we persist yet again. By the way, speaking of money, in addition to the $500 large that now goes to the county of Allegan, on that same day, Big HVAC came a-calling. And I knew I was up Schitt's Creek when Jordan, who came to service my AC from Joe Martinez, said, yeah, Joe told me I got to collect today. Normally they send me a bill. But I already had a bill from like 3 weeks earlier when he repaired my boiler. So I owed him like $450 for that. And then they dropped another charge on me for what we took of yesterday, or what we took care of yesterday. Yesterday or 2 days ago. So Joe goes, hey, Jordan, don't leave that house without that fucker paying. Ay, ay, ay. So Jordan sent me the bill, and I paid it to the tune of like $850. So I dropped the $850, and then I dropped the $5. So that's kind of the lay of the land. That's probably why I had the dream that my penis fell off. Linda says, tell me about big HVAC and big roof. Double whammy over here. You know, I wish I could direct you to the right teams for HVAC and roof repair, but I can't. I don't know anybody that can do either of those things. Donut Dan says, that's the mafia connection in your dream, Easy. Jordan at the door for the big guy. Blue State Rob, he's always special when he's in here. He says it's still cheaper than Big Vet, 100%. Stevie says her dog Ranger is at Big Vet today, Easy. It's going to run me $1,500 to $2,000. Shit! God damn it, man. Okay. Folks, so this is a lot being thrown at you right now. Nick says, I'm looking for a hardware store in Baldwin, Michigan. Any recommendations? None. I don't have one. I couldn't tell you where to get a roof. I couldn't tell you how to get HVAC help. I couldn't tell you a hardware store to go to. Couldn't tell you a car dealership to go to. I could not tell you a carpet facility to get your carpet from. No idea. We are skydiving to commemorate the D-Day anniversary on the day that it happened. So coming up on June 6th, the 72nd anniversary of the D-Day invasion. We'll be jumping out of an airplane to celebrate that. And so a lot of you purchased through Skydive Grand Haven your 8,000-foot tandem jump during Black Friday. It was a massively reduced price. You purchased it, and I said we're going to jump on a certain day. Saturday, June 6th is that day. So if you did buy that, this is the day we're going to do it. Now, if you don't have the schedule that permits that, we can do it another day. But I got to know. You got to let me know what your situation is, and then we can figure something out. But as of right now, I'm trying to get as many of you who made that purchase to jump with me on Saturday, June 6th. Easy's D-Day anniversary jump with Skydive Grand Haven. Tony from Skydive Grand Haven is an absolute amazing soul. He's going to be leading the charge. We fly up 8,000 feet, jump, pull the chute. There's a photographer next to you taking pictures, shooting video. You're a goddamn star. You're never going to forget it, and you're going to want to do it again. Donut Dan says, how many more slots are there for D-Day? Unlimited. Unlimited. Gather your group. Now, even if you did not purchase yet, if you didn't purchase the Black Friday, the reduced charge, because it was like $200, you can still get it. So all you do is go to skydivegrandhaven.com, click where it says shop gift certificates, and buy $249 8,000-foot tandem jump. Just click it, buy it. I recommend spending another $149 for video and pictures of your effort so they can chronicle all of this on the way down. If not, that's fine too. Whatever. June 6th, go to skydivegrandhaven.com if you want to go. And on that Facebook post that I'm looking at right now, and you can see it, and I link it up in the show notes of this podcast, please respond to this RSVP if you're going to be there. So do that. It's pinned to the top of my Facebook page. Tony from Skydive Grand Haven is like, that is brilliant to do it on the day of the D-Day invasion. EZ, I knew it was a great idea to do this with you and sponsor the show. And I'm like, yeah, hey, man, that's what I do. I'm a big thinker. I had nothing to do with it, actually. And I told him, I go, yeah, I didn't plan that. It just happened to be that day. And then the audience, they told me that it was the day of the big invasion, 72nd anniversary. So I stole that, and now we're back at it. Man Bun Chris says, Boring Dean wants to know if he can do a tandem jump with you. Ugh. Nick in Houston says, EZ says Pellerito can go with them, but he's not allowed to bring a chute. Blue State Rob says, you owe the D-Day thing to Birch Barlow. Thank you. I had forgotten about that. So let's get into Kouri Richins. I know Nick was excited to do this. Kouri Richins was the chick in Utah. She's got 3 kids, and the husband dropped dead. Oh, my God, it's so terrible. And then time passes, and she's mourning the loss of the husband. And she says, I want to take, and this happens from time to time where somebody, like, something bad happens to them, and they I want to help the community. I want to take this negative and make it into a positive. And Kouri decided, I'm going to write a children's book. And it's going to help my children, and it's going to help any other children who have lost their father. And it's going to help me, too, because I miss my husband. And this is the way I'm going to do it. And I'm not reading. I'm only telling you what I know. The book was called, like, Daddy's Here or Daddy's With You. And on the cover, it's 3 little boys and a man depicted to be the husband with angel wings waving at them. And then you read it, and then you feel better. Okay, cool. She was on, like, the morning talk shows like Today and Good Morning America. She did a whole tour promoting the book, and they're like, Kouri, this is so great of you. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's the least I could do. My husband would have wanted this, and I'm doing it for the kids. Well, this is one of the most ridiculous things ever. The book, I think, was called I'm Always With You. Well, then somebody started poking around, and they figured out that something wasn't quite right, and they uncovered the fact that she actually murdered the husband and poisoned him to death. Wow. And yesterday was her sentencing. And there was a lot of things that were said during, like, victims' impact statements and things like that. Even the 3 little ones, and I don't know the ages of the little ones. I think they're pretty little. Like, I don't even know if they're teenagers. Linda would know the ages of the children. Like, for example, in this pic right here, here's Kouri with the deceased and the 3 little ones. 13 is the oldest. By the way, on the chat, I am again not being given the opportunity to discuss the key things that I want to discuss because they're talking about it before me. As you know, I've asked the question, what were the ages of the children? And I definitely got that answer, but I got a lot more than that. Linda now is diving in with some comments that I was going to talk about on the chat, but somehow she has managed to, even having some success with not ruining stories the last couple of days, she is now attempting to break her own streak by saying his family knew it immediately that she did it, which I was going to get to. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.